There is a silent siege happening deep inside your body right now. Most people never realize this internal battle even exists. You look in the mirror and focus on the fat you can pinch. You treat it as a cosmetic problem, something temporary and superficial, something to diet away before summer or beach season arrives. But the real danger is not the fat you can see. It is hidden deep beneath the surface of your abdomen, wrapped tightly around your liver, pancreas, and intestines. This dangerous tissue is called visceral fat. Unlike surface fat, visceral fat is biologically active and aggressive. It constantly releases inflammatory chemicals into your bloodstream. It disrupts hormones, metabolism, and cardiovascular health silently. But the most frightening truth is not that visceral fat exists. It is why your body put it there in the first place. Visceral fat exists because your body thinks you are in danger. There is a silent siege happening deep inside your body right now. Most people never realize this internal battle even exists. You look in the mirror and focus on the fat you can pinch. You treat it as a cosmetic problem, something temporary and superficial, something to diet away before summer or beach season arrives. But the real danger is not the fat you can see. It is hidden deep beneath the surface of your abdomen, wrapped tightly around your liver, pancreas, and intestines. This dangerous tissue is called visceral fat. Unlike surface fat, visceral fat is biologically active and aggressive. It constantly releases inflammatory chemicals into your bloodstream. It disrupts hormones, metabolism, and cardiovascular health silently. But the most frightening truth is not that visceral fat exists. It is why your body put it there in the first place. Visceral fat exists because your body thinks you are in danger. To understand visceral fat, we must first understand cortisol. Cortisol is often labeled simply as the stress hormone, but this label completely misses its true biological purpose. For hundreds of thousands of years, cortisol ensured human survival. Imagine our ancestors facing predators, famine, or hostile environments. In moments of danger, the brain activated the HPA axis instantly. This system shut down digestion, reproduction, and muscle building. Instead, it flooded the bloodstream with glucose for survival. Cortisol prepared the body to fight or flee immediately. This response was not harmful. It was life-saving. But survival required rapid access to stored energy afterward. Evolution learned storing fat in arms or legs was inefficient. Heavy limbs, slow escape during physical danger. Vital organs needed energy close by at all times. So the body concentrated cortisol receptors deep in the abdomen. These receptors act like magnets for circulating fat. When cortisol rises, fat is pulled inward and stored around organs. Visceral fat became an emergency survival backpack. This adaptation protected humans through harsh winters and scarcity. The problem is your biology never updated its ancient software. The environment changed, but your stress response did not. Today, there are no predators chasing you. Instead, there are deadlines, traffic, screens, and constant pressure. Modern stress is not brief or intense. It is low-grade, chronic, and never-ending. Your cortisol levels never fully return to baseline. Your body remains stuck in permanent survival mode. Cortisol keeps signaling your liver to release glucose, but there is no physical danger to burn it off. Glucose builds up in the bloodstream instead. The pancreas releases insulin to clear the excess sugar. Insulin is a storage hormone by design. High cortisol combined with high insulin creates one outcome: that energy gets stored as visceral fat. Your body prepares endlessly for a famine that never arrives. You are trapped in a biological survival loop. Chronic stress creates another hidden hormonal problem. Cortisol production steals resources from other critical hormones. A precursor hormone called pregnenolone is diverted toward cortisol. That same hormone is needed to produce testosterone and estrogen. When stress is high, sex hormone production crashes. Muscle tissue becomes vulnerable to breakdown. Your body breaks muscle down to create emergency glucose. That glucose is then stored again as visceral fat. Arms and legs grow thinner while the belly expands. This creates the skinny fat body composition many people experience. It is not laziness or lack of discipline. It is stress-driven biological restructuring. Stress also releases a chemical called neuropeptide-Y. This molecule powerfully increases carbohydrate cravings. It signals the brain that energy demand is dangerously high. Fast carbohydrates become the fastest survival solution. This is not weak willpower. It is ancient survival programming activating automatically. You are fighting chemistry as powerful as the drive to breathe. So how do we escape this biological trap? The answer is not starvation or extreme dieting. Starving the body adds even more stress signals. Excessive steady cardio mimics prolonged survival hunts. Cortisol rises higher and fat storage tightens further. You cannot force visceral fat off through stress. You must convince the nervous system that danger has passed. The most effective cortisol-lowering movement is walking. Walking burns fat without triggering fight or flight responses. It sends safety signals through the nervous system. Visual movement calms the brain's fear center. Anthropologists suggest walking was humanity's natural baseline. Walking tells the brain you are moving forward safely. But walking alone is not enough. Heavy resistance training provides the missing signal. Lifting heavy objects sends strong anabolic messages. It protects muscle from cortisol-driven breakdown. It increases testosterone and growth hormone production. These hormones directly oppose visceral fat storage. Muscle tissue absorbs glucose efficiently. Insulin levels fall, and fat storage pressure weakens. Nutrition timing matters as much as food quality. Cortisol follows a daily circadian rhythm naturally. It should peak in the morning and fall at night. Modern habits invert this natural pattern. Late caffeine keeps cortisol elevated too long. Late sugar spikes insulin before sleep. A protein-rich breakfast supports dopamine and thyroid function. Evening carbohydrates increase serotonin and support melatonin. This helps lower nighttime cortisol and improve sleep quality. Sleep is not passive rest. It is metabolic repair. One night of poor sleep reduces insulin sensitivity dramatically. Your body treats sleep deprivation as a physical injury. Baseline cortisol rises the following day automatically. This drives visceral fat storage immediately. Magnesium is rapidly depleted during chronic stress. Low magnesium amplifies cortisol responses further. Supplementing magnesium supports nervous system relaxation. Adaptogens like ashwagandha may help lower cortisol levels. Short, controlled stress can improve resilience. Cold exposure briefly spikes cortisol, then lowers baseline stress. It also activates brown fat for heat production. But psychology remains a critical factor. The brain does not distinguish physical danger from mental threat. Constant worry signals ongoing emergency. Deep breathing stimulates the vagus nerve. This activates the parasympathetic rest and digest state. Only in safety does the body release emergency fat stores. Visceral fat is not a willpower problem. It is a negotiation with ancient biology. Your body is trying to protect you. To lose visceral fat, you must signal safety consistently. Prioritize sleep, walking, and heavy resistance training. Align nutrition with your natural circadian rhythm. Support mineral balance and stress recovery. When the emergency alarm shuts off, visceral fat releases naturally. The fortress finally begins to crumble.